do the math. We have more BNB in the project than we've had before. But since BNB is down, you just got to do the math. If it was at $600, our liquidity would obviously be a lot higher. Daily volume is being affected by that because people do not want to trade while all this stuff is going on, which I completely understand. And I mean, I'm not going to go over all the statistics of every single coin, but there's a lot of things that are down right now. There's only a few things that are up. So that's obviously going to affect us because we're going to follow the market in a way. I know we can make private deals and all that stuff, but I was talking to a few people today, investors of ours, and I was like, why would I pump 50 BNB into a project and make it go up 100% in a day? And everyone's going to just dump because everything else is down. So there is a strategic method to this. We have a lot of money on the side, but at the same time, we have to be smart about everything because the rest of the market is down. However, we do have financial analysis, or analyst, that gives us a financial analysis every single day. Shout out to Pax. He really does think the crypto market is going to go up. There's no affection or like correlation between the stock market, crypto market. So there's going to really be no effect on that. I believe that as well. I think that crypto is going to grow. I know that a lot of people are really worried about the government getting involved and all that stuff. That's actually going to be a better thing for crypto, in my opinion, because then, people are going to be able to put cryptos into ETFs and 401ks and all this stuff. So there's pros and cons of everything, obviously. I just wanted to go over that a little bit. That is why our price is down, because BNB is down. If the BNB was, $600, our price would be over $3. So that's just what I wanted to go over a little bit. We have two major deals in process. The reason I wasn't on the AMA last week was I was meeting with one of the investors. He is one of my people from Dubai that I have mentioned. It is a massive deal. And like I said, they don't care if they invest at 6 zeros or 4 zeros. They want to make sure that the project is legitimate. So this will take a little bit of time, but that is a deal that I could pretty much say is done as long as we do everything that we're going to say. We have another deal with somebody. Shout out to Jules. Very, very big investor in Shiba. He's going to help us promote the next token. I know that everyone's excited about that. And I really think that that's going to take off, and he's obviously going to promote DoD as well and AlphaApe Network. Tony, I wish he was on here, but he does have some updates about the AlphaApe Network, so I'm going to have him jump on the voice chat later in the week. We're just going to go over what's going on with the wallet and everything. That could be delayed from February 1st to March 1st, but I've always said that doesn't matter to me. All that matters is the quality. And I think that that's what matters to everyone, because we don't want to put out, and I'm sorry for using this language, but it's the truth. We don't want to put out a shitty product. We're never going to do that. So if it's going to take an extra month, and we're going to let, the next token come out on February 15th, which the contract is done for, we want to make sure that everything is done correctly. So if it does get delayed, don't be mad. That's actually a positive, because we're making sure that everything's done correctly. So if Mike is on here, I don't know if he is. I was going to let him go over a little bit of what he's been doing.
Nah, he's not here.
I'm going to text him right now.
I thought I saw him join.
No, that's fine. He told me that he was going to be on around, I would say 9:15. But so I just wanted to basically go over, the market does affect us. If BNB is going to be down, we're going to be down in liquidity. That's just the truth about any project. It's the same thing with ERC20. If we ran an Ethereum project right now, Ethereum went down from 3,500 to 2,400 in the matter of a couple of weeks. That's obviously going to affect your liquidity because you're running off that project. So we really can't do anything about that. That's just something where I don't believe that this market's going to stay bear for this long, especially crypto. I think that's going to go right back up within the next few months. I could see Bitcoin being at 60K by May. Like, honestly, that's my opinion. Obviously, that's not financial advice because I don't know what Bitcoin's going to be at. I never know anything like that. But I assume that you gotta look at what's happening. There's a lot more institutional things coming into Bitcoin. You know, please mute your mic if you can. So there's a lot more institutional money coming into Bitcoin. There's a lot more governmental money coming into Bitcoin. There's actual governments and countries that are using it now. So you can kind of see the trend of what crypto is going to do. I was talking to my financial analyst today, and he said the same thing. He goes, I don't even think it's going to follow the stock market at one point because it's just going to take off. It's a new industry with trillions of dollars in it. So that's the way that we have to look at it. Are there going to be down weeks, down months? Absolutely. I mean, that's the way that every single economic thing works in the world. So you just have to be smart about things. And I'm not just talking about Defender of Doge. I'm talking about everything. Like, if you sell your Solana right now, for example, or Ethereum, you're an idiot. Like, it's going to go back up. That's just my opinion. And you can completely disagree with me, but that's what I think. And if you have Bitcoin right now, I know Charles is a big Bitcoin guy, and you sell it at 35K and you think that that's what it's going to stay at for the rest of its life, you're an idiot, in my opinion. But that's your opinion, and we're going to kind of see what the numbers do. But crypto is a very new thing. It's only been around since 2009. Really, since 2012 is when it got big. So it's only been around for 13 years. It's only been big for 9.5 years. It's a really, really new thing in the economy. Like, if they do regulate crypto and they start putting this into people's 401ks and all that stuff, that's just going to increase our investments because we were in early. And that's something that people have to identify. Like, yeah, scams will go away, and that's good. I mean, there was $41 billion taken in rug pulls this year. So or 2021, I mean. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's ridiculous. The government should get involved. They should do things about that. There should be people that are prosecuted for taking $400,000 from people in one day. That's my true opinion. I don't care what anybody thinks about that. I know that people don't want to get taxed on income, but I also don't agree with that. If somebody makes $3 million a year trading in the stock market, why should someone be able to trade $3 million in crypto and not get taxed? Like, they should get taxed the same exact way. So, and we're going to benefit from that on every single aspect because we're legit and we're never going to have any problem showing that. Mike will have his financial records. I will have my financial records. Tony has his financial records. We all are business owners. We all own corporations or LLCs. So we can show everything. We can show every tax ever paid. We're not the people that are scammers. And I know that there's going to be so many people that come into the new project based on the name that say, oh, well, this is a scam. This is bullshit, blah, 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 blah. No, it's not. It's a really, really good project where I've negotiated a good amount of money to be into the project equity-wise. And that's why it's going to benefit Defender of Doge. Because frankly, if it didn't benefit Defender of Doge, I wouldn't give a shit about the next token. That's just the truth. I don't care. But all I care about is our investors and our project. And what the next token is going to do is going to be huge. And I cannot announce officially who we're going to be working with because the deal is not finalized. But all I can tell you is this. It's a cash deal. There's no tokens being given out for it. and it's going to be an unbelievable presence in that community because one, he's made so much money off of Shiba in his life, and two, he loves the idea of our project, and he is very close with a few of our community members. So I'm waiting for Mike. Mike is on here now. I'm going to let him give a little bit of updates, but I want to give you about 15 minutes of information. Mike, you give him about 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'll let him ask questions.
All right, what did I miss?
I just told him kind of about the market, you know, all that stuff with our liquidity. When BNB goes down, obviously we're going to go down. We have more BNB than we had in the project before. But since the BNB is down so much, obviously liquidity is down. And I just went over the fact that we do have some major deals finalized in a way. We just have to, you know, touch on the fine print.
Yeah, actually, I can announce now that, well, I just literally just got off the phone about 10 minutes ago, pretty much finalized the deal with the prepaid card system. I found a company that we did it. I know we sent a mock-up of the AlphaApe prepaid card around yesterday, I believe it was. It was posted. I can confirm that that's going to be a deal. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What did you say it was?
2 days ago.
2 days ago. So yeah, I don't know what day it is anymore. So this company, basically what they're going to do is they're giving us the option, right? So we can either, you know, you as the consumer can order the card itself, the physical card. It'll be shipped to you in the mail, whole nice box set up. Like it's really pretty amazing, honestly. Or there'll be the digital version of it as well. So you don't have to actually order the card. It'll be like a virtual card, so to speak. It's got its own built-in interfaces. It is, you know, this is a third party. Obviously, it's not directly to us. We're not collecting your money. We're not holding your money. It's a legitimate company that does this. They do it for like in-store cards. I guess you want to call them in-store gift card type deals. But it is going to be synced for you to be able to use on our AlphaApe network. So the whole concept of purchasing DeFi with fiat and crypto, it's here. We confirmed that it's going to work on all of our platforms. There's no restrictions to it. There is a way to, how do I want to say this? Okay, so you load the money onto the card, right, from your bank, whatever the case may be, is you're able to then go onto the AlphaApe exchange or on the wallet. You're able to then purchase crypto, you know, DeFi. BNB is included in that, which is actually really good because for some reason it's different than purchasing ETH or Bitcoin, but I confirmed that we won't have a problem purchasing that. And again, you'll be able to go on the exchange, you'll be able to swap, you'll be able to use that. And I did confirm that when you want to withdraw the money, you can then withdraw the money back onto the card. That's where it's going to get a little bit different because it's not like you can go to an actual ATM itself that I'm aware of yet. They were checking into that for me, but it'll preload the money back onto the card. So then you could then use that card. You know, this card can be used for other things too, not just the AlphaApe website, but it'll be branded with our AlphaApe logo on it. The DeFi prepaid card, like, you know, it's pretty much what the mock-up looked like. So that's a pretty cool thing. Just the only thing I'm waiting on confirmation is if you can actually go to an ATM and withdraw money. The one person I talked to said yes. The other one's like, well, I have to check on that. I have a feeling the answer is yes, because the way it's set up.
When you get the money back onto it, can you spend it like at the grocery store, for example?
Yes, you could spend it anywhere. Yes.
Perfect.
Yes. So, but the only thing is setting up the PIN and to withdraw cash and all that. And I'm going to go ahead and say 97% sure that you can withdraw cash. So that's a very, very cool. Obviously, you know, that's something that, you know, thankfully I had the right person to speak to. It's not that easy to go find a company that's willing to do that sort of thing. But, you know, I said, listen, this is something that I think will generate revenue for obviously the card company itself, because they make their money on their transaction fees or whatever it is. It's minimal, but it's like any other thing in the world where they're going to make their percentage off of it. So that was a pretty huge deal, if you ask me. Um, Another thing we've been working on is finalizing the AlphaApe white paper, the official one that kind of outlines everything in detail of exactly what this whole project is up to in this whole network that we got going on. Like Kevin said, he's been speaking to investors as far as defender of Doge. I've been kind of spearheading the Sergeant SHIB, and collectively we've been working on the AlphaApe together along with Tony. Again, Tony's got COVID again. He's the only guy in the world I know that's caught it about 17 times, but he's getting there. So hopefully within the next day or so, he's back in. Sergeant SHIB contract is 100% finalized. That's great. We're on schedule for launch, pre-sale still February 15th. One thing we are waiting back for is everything's been submitted to iOS and Android. Got the green light from Android as far as the wallet's concerned. Only thing we're waiting on now is iOS to get back to us, which, like I've said in the past, they expect everything, and you know what, and it's kind of good they do, because if you're holding people's it's currency with question mark, quotation marks, they want to make sure it's secure, and we want to make sure it's secure also. We don't want to launch a wallet, the next thing you know have to release updates and patches to fix anything that's been going on. So it's been beta tested like crazy. Final stages now, they're just kind of going through the codes one more time. Hopefully there's nothing that has to be changed, because if there is, I mean, again, I've spoke about this. We don't want to release it on Android first and then have to wait and then release it on iOS. So if for some reason the iOS gets delayed, I mean, we're going to wait to release it all at once. We're not going to just do, it's out on Android, and then, a week later it's out on iOS. So, we've always said.
I did say that as well. I said quality over quantity. We're releasing it when it's released.
Of course. Yeah. Again, we're storing, we're storing people's crypto on these. So we have to make sure everything works 1,000% before we, just unleash it to the world. Got a lot of feedback on that. A lot of people who I didn't think would be interested in, believe it or not the tokens at this point. I mean, no, I shouldn't say that. Let me rephrase that. There's a lot of hype involving the whole Defender of Doge stablecoin, the Sergeant SHIB, and the AlphaApe. There's a lot of people that are extremely interested in what we're doing as far as AlphaApe network and Defender of Doge being the stablecoin behind it. I know a lot of you guys here, I believe we've staked now. Turbo's been amazing, by the way. I've kind of been working with him, getting this done while Tony's been out, staking everybody's DOD. I don't know the total at this point, but it's got to be over 3 trillion. It has to be. I mean, because last week we were at 2, and we've done a hell of a lot of them. I didn't get the final numbers from Tony yet, because obviously I haven't spoke to him, but it's up there. We've been doing a bunch of them, so that's great. A lot of people are earning Sergeant SHIB, and it's not even out yet, which is another cool thing, obviously, that we got going. And I mean, listen, it's like Kevin was saying, the market sucks, right? You see what happens when one person sells while BNB is going down. You get a huge red candle. The price drops tremendously. It's the same thing with ERC projects. It doesn't matter what network you're on. It's all the same thing. It fluctuates. It follows Bitcoin. And everybody says nothing does. Oh, it's this. And one day it will break free. ETH will break free from Bitcoin and so on and so forth. But as of right now, it all follows the same thing. Me working on the AlphaApe white paper along with somebody, a couple other people actually. One of the main things, and you'll read it in there when it's said and done, is that, crypto, and I get it. Kev was just talking about, I caught that part about regulations coming in, and it's good in a way. I believe that part. I mean, AlphaApe is going to be regulating its own self, which is regulating the DeFi space, which to me, it's huge. But, in the white paper, we discuss, like, crypto was formed from the beginning to give the power to the people, right? To like not have to worry about big banks or, corporations telling us when and where we can spend our money. And that's kind of why crypto was created to begin with, to remain anonymous and to do what we had to do. In reality, it was all about a lot of underground stuff too when it first came out. But now all of a sudden, the more and more things get mainstreamed, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all these other projects, you're going to have these ETFs available where people are going to start, building them into their portfolios. And it's a double-edged sword, right? Like, yes, it's awesome because, it's spreading a lot of light to the crypto, letting everybody know what the possibilities are. But on the other hand, it's doing kind of the total opposite of what crypto was meant to be for, right? It was meant to be anonymous. It was meant to give, like I said, the power to the people on what they choose to do with their own money, and the more and more mainstream that stuff gets, unfortunately, we start to lose that power. That's why I am so happy that the AlphaApe team, we've decided to remain strictly DeFi only, because for now, DeFi is going to be kind of like what Bitcoin and Ethereum were, before they became mainstream. I know I like to call them stable coins. I get yelled at by our financial guy a lot because he's like, they're not stable coins. You shouldn't say that. Well, you know what? In this day and age, to me, Bitcoin and Ethereum might as well be stable coins because they're so mainstream now, right? I mean, they're just everywhere. Everywhere you go, people are talking about it on the news. And again, double-edged sword. It's great for crypto and bad for crypto at the same time. We have a lot of things going on. I mean, market sucks at this point. It's starting to recover, which is great. I don't know if Kevin told you, one thing that we always have as being involved in projects is money is not an object as far as pumping into a project, right? Like we actually closed some extremely big deals that is going into Defender of Doge, and we're kind of letting you guys in on a little backdoor secret here. Feel free to buy more if you want, because I can promise you the price is going up. Not going to tell you when, but it's going up. But the whole thing with that is, why would we sit here and pump money into a project when the rest of the crypto market is down? Like, sure, it'll say, oh, look, Defender of Doge is up 25, 30%. You know what people do in that situation? They sell, and then they buy more they convert it to BNB, and they hold and they wait for it to go back up. So you have to be
I explain that to them because it's just a stupid business strategy.
It is, yes. So yes, while everything's red and your project is green, looking from the outside in, it might look like it's, wow, look, they're the only ones that are green. In reality, guys, it's not a good look, right? And this is full transparency, right? Because we don't hide anything from you guys. Every project does this, okay? Every project has money in case, God forbid, it's somebody huge dumps on us. I mean, we're a little bit different because we do have the buyback wallet, but we also have money ready to go in case something extremely bad happens. And I shouldn't say every project, but a legit project should have a savings that in case that oh shit moment happens, you could turn around and put the money back into the project in case something happens, right? We have that. Again, a couple of big deals have just been closed. That money is going to be put into Defender of Doge. As I heard Kevin saying, I'm team DOD all the way too, right? Sergeant SHIB, I've explained to you guys my thoughts on that. I think that, again, staking your DOD to earn Sergeant SHIB to then earn SHIB rewards, you're getting, 3 tokens for the price of 1. Shout out to Turbo for, pointing that out to me probably a week back, now, and it's all about what you're looking at, right? And Kevin's going to kill me, but when I say it, DOD is the Bitcoin of our network, I should say, of the AlphaApe network. That's what DOD is. It's the Bitcoin. It's just something that you don't want to sell, because as we get, once that burn, which we're working on, why it hasn't reflected yet. We figured it out. We just have to.
Well, it's pretty much because the market's down, the volume is down on everything, and
that's true too. Yes,
it has reflected on our market cap, which is great.
Yeah, and what'll happen is we just have to manually go in and re-update our outstanding supply with BSC scan, and then they'll take it over from there and do it. So that's something Tony's been working on, in and out of sleeping half the day, but that's another thing. So that'll start to reflect soon too as well. Again, DoD, it's going to be the gold as far as I'm concerned. Sergeant Shib's going to be the silver. You're going to be able to trade it, have some fun. And like Kevin was saying, we're going to be getting a lot of people that are going to come into these projects, into Sergeant Shib, I should say. And because we are a Shib token, they're going to, it's scam, it's BS, it's this, it's that. I had a guy yesterday, he's probably in here underneath an alt name, and I really don't care at this point. But he's a guy that, came to us early on. He bought in. He bought in a substantial amount, right? And kind of always had my feelings about him. Like something wasn't right. Come to find out yesterday, he was in our chat. I can't sell. I can't sell. I wanted to buy 20,000 more, but I can't sell. I said, okay. I said, I shot him a DM. I taught him how to sell, right? I said, this is what you got to do. And this is a news flash for anybody, right? Whether it's on ETH, on Uniswap, PancakeSwap, whatever the case may be, is you never put the main coin in first and try to sell. So you never put the BNB in first and then let it auto calculate and then click sell. It'll never work. You're going to get an error. You would always have to put the DoD total amount in first, then click sell. Just the way the programming is. Ask me why it doesn't work. I don't know. That's just a little tip. That's what he was doing. So the guy was putting in, I think it was 1.5 BNB, but he was putting in 1.5 BNB in first, letting it populate to sell, and he kept getting errors. Whatever. I knew what he was up to. So I said to him, I'll walk you through it. I got no problem doing that. And what did he do? Started dumping his bag, which was the worst time for him to do it. Because he had invested, I want to say probably 9,000, and
he got $4,000,
and he walked away with 4,000 because the market was so down. And I said to him, and I was laughing the whole time. And I said to him, I said, let me ask you a question. I said, why did you do this? Oh, you guys are scammers. I said, well, excuse me? He said, I read your contract. I said, you read our contract, but you didn't know how to sell on PancakeSwap? So
wait, that's what I'm
technical?
saying. He's new to crypto.
Yeah, exactly. So I caught him.
But he can read contracts, so I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. But he couldn't sell on PancakeSwap. Come to find out, he was from another project. Not going to mention names. He had bought in thinking that he could dump all at once and hurt us, which obviously you can't, thanks to the tokenomics we have built in. And regardless, anyway, it wouldn't. We come right back from that. As you guys have seen in the past, we've done it over and over again. But that just goes to show you, we're going to run into people like that. And, they're the ones that ultimately are just going to, learn the hard way, basically. And I mean, now this guy wanted to call me a scam. I said, dude, anytime you want to talk in front of a live audience, we can hash this out. Never scammed anybody in my life, never have to. And he got pissed off. And then Piff pointed out to me today, the guy started buying back in, so why'd he start buying back in? Let's see, because he lost so much money that now he wants to try to make it back up. It is what it is. That's just the type of stuff. And, we had a mod meeting the other day for the Sergeant Shib community, and I kind of laid it out to everybody. I said, listen, with the way we're expecting this community to go and the size of this project, that you have to expect to get a lot of people that just come in just to talk trash and just to leave. Guys, anytime you have a question, because I consider all of you guys at this point founders. You guys have been with us since day one, right? Most of you. Anytime you ever feel uncomfortable about something, or you say, oh, something might not be right, don't listen to some random troll in a chat room somewhere. Come directly to us. Reach out to either one of the mods, myself, Kevin, Tony when he's feeling better, and say, listen, I have a concern about something. It won't go unanswered. Like, we will make you confident, in what we're doing. And those are just some of the things I wanted to touch on. Obviously, you know, crypto sucked, things turned around, but we have a lot of things that are in the works. You know, not every week can be mind blowing. You know, let's knock it out of the park with this one. I mean, I kind of did just drop a big bomb with the debit. I don't want to call it a debit card, prepaid card.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that. So that's awesome.
Yeah, you want to start saying debit card, everybody starts going crazy. But in actuality, it kind of is, except it's not going to have like a MasterCard logo on it. It's not going to have a Visa logo on it. It's nothing like that. It took a lot of hard work to get in contact with the company and for me to explain to them the vision that we have for this. Because, you know, right away, you start mentioning crypto to these companies, and right away it's a red flag. They don't even want to talk about it anymore. You know why? Because they know that crypto's kind of taken over, you know, the fiat aspect of things. But, you know, I got a company, from what I've found out, they're very reputable, you know, and they can get what we need done, you know. So when that's going to be available, probably, I would say, within 2 months. You know, I don't like to speculate, but I would say within 2 months it should be done. And again, you'll be able to go. You could actually order your own AlphaApe card. It's going to almost look identical to what that mock-up was, which is very cool, right? Keep it in your wallet, keep it in your purse. You're going to be able to use it to buy crypto through our exchange, which I'm more than happy about. Or you can go the other way.
And I mean, if
virtual card.
If you look at, like, obviously when the stock market was founded and stuff, they obviously have these, you know, like, thoughts about crypto because it's so new. And the fact that we're able to get this stuff done is unbelievable. And shout out to Mike, because I didn't even know that before the AMA, because he was literally on that call probably when I was texting him and I was telling you guys, like, I'm sending Mike a text to get on the call.
Yeah, this is something I've been working on. I've like, you know, we announced, you know, the whole card aspect of this, I don't know, a few AMAs back. But, you know, listen, again, it's not an easy task to find a company that's willing to do this type of stuff. You know, I got recommended from a friend of mine, you know, who knows somebody, and I got into the right place where I needed to be. I explained to them, I said, guys, listen, do not miss out on this. You know, and you know, I am worried, and I'm never going to release the company name because I know for a fact that once other crypto companies, you know, projects know that this company will do it, they're going to jump all over it. So, you know, obviously I'm going to try to keep it as quiet as I can for a while. Eventually it'll get out, but you know what? We could be this, we'll be the ones that did it first. So when people start saying, oh, we could do this, we did it first. And it's strictly DeFi. And again, that's a lot of what the AlphaApe white paper is about. Just explaining everything that we've talked about, because we do have a lot of major investors that want to get behind that. And keep in mind, guys, I know it's a lot of things we're hitting you with at once, and this is a defender of Doge AMA. This all directly impacts and affects defender of Doge. This does not go, these services do not work without DoD involved. And that's just the way it is. I mean, we've drawn the line in the sand. I mean, we could have won a different route if we wanted to, right? We could have just said, oh no, we're going to be able to just, we're just going to open up these services for no reason. But we're not. We're staying true to our guns, you know, and saying, if you don't hold DoD, you cannot access the kingdom, the keys to the kingdom. I know I say it, blah, blah, blah. It is what it is, you know. So that's great news. Sergeant SHIB white paper is done. AlphaApe white paper is just about done. Not sure when we're going to release the Sergeant SHIB white paper. I would imagine pretty soon. I mean, it's nothing
within the next week. I would say week,
it's nothing
10 days.
Classified. I mean, it's just basically kind of what I went through on the AMA, except, you know, you have to release it because when people want to invest a lot of money, they need to see where it is.
And these guys can't spell, so I have to, you know, proofread everything.
Yeah. So, you know, like Kevin said, we have some great partnerships lined up. He mentioned one. We have a couple others in the works too, and a lot of great things are coming.
And I mean, I'll mention my meeting last week. These guys have the same mindset as most big investors. Why would I sell my BNB when it's at $350 or Ethereum at $2,400 or Bitcoin at $35,000 when I don't expect this to last? It's going to be all up 15 to 25% the next month, you know? So
Well,
you got to
yes.
understand that these private deals might take a little while because the market is down.
Correct. I mean, I had a guy who wanted to buy in $75,000 into AlphaApe to back some of the projects. And legitimately, we were about to close the deal and the market crashed. And he's like, Mike, I hate to do this, and I said, dude, you don't even have to say another word. I already know what you're going to say.
Like exactly when it recovers, I know you're going to do the deal.
Exactly. I said, you don't even have to go any further. I wouldn't even ask you to do it because, he was going to pay in ETH. And obviously, $75,000 compared to what, I don't even know how many.
You ask somebody right now, all right, sell 10 ETH. Well, you're going to make 24 grand or 25 grand. In a month, it's probably going to be 35 or 40 grand. So
exactly,
I'm going to say no too. I don't even care. Like it's more about the principle. And that's what a lot of these investors are really about, is the principle of their money.
Correct. And you guys have to understand something. This is kind of where, rough times like this is what separates people. And again, this is not DOD, Sergeant Shib, or AlphaApe related. This is just crypto in general. This is what separates the men and women from being the ones that stick their tails between their legs and run away. You hear the stories about why people get rich off of crypto. It's times when the market goes in the shitter and the people, that Warren Buffett thing that's always going around, it's like, yes, when people are fearful, you need to be greedy, right? If you can financially, I'm not saying mortgage your house to invest in crypto, but if you have that money that's laying around, now is the time to do it when the market is down like this, because we know it's coming back. Granted, I think the Fed's coming out with another decision tomorrow, or they're going to announce something. I mean, the stock market yesterday would have taken 1,000-point swing in the last 10 minutes of trading, which was completely unhealthy. But whatever happened there, I don't know. But so, these are other things that we're looking at too that impacts the entire market, which I know nobody really wants to hear about, but in reality, that's kind of what affects every project. So, I mean, yeah, that's it. I mean, listen, debit card, credit card, prepaid card, done deal. Just figuring out whether you're going to be able to withdraw cash. Like I said, 97% sure. Either way, you're still going to be able to now use that card, like I've said, whether you want to shop with it, you want to do whatever with it, you're still going to have the same functionality to use that across different platforms as well, not just the AlphaApe network.
Yeah, literally, like I said, I didn't even get to talk to Mike about that yet. I'm obviously going to call him after this and talk to him in detail about it. But that's an awesome functionality that we knew that was going to come out. But the fact that it's this quick, I mean, this is the type of stuff that you guys have to think about. Like, the market is down almost 50% from what it was down last month. And we're working on these type of deals. I told Mike the other day, what's our price at? I haven't looked at it in 3 days. And he'll back me up on that. I didn't look at it because I don't give a shit. And I've told you that from day one, because when it comes down to the market, it's not our fault that the liquidity is down and that the volume's down and everything. Nobody's going to trade BNB when it's at $350. Like, come on, you got to be real.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm gonna keep it real too. I don't look at the DoD price like that, right? I look at it more for, obviously, because I know we have a lot of investors that have come from other projects that got screwed over, right? Again, I'll never mention another name. And you get nervous, and guess what? You should, right? That whole word we've talked about, the FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Like, damn right, you should have fear, uncertainty, and doubt. You're human.
In every investment, no matter what stock market.
So that's one thing.
I don't give a shit what you invest in. If you get a car, you should have fear, uncertainty, and doubt the first month that you own it.
Exactly.
Because
and I still,
you got
to
to
this
know
day,
what's going on. I mean, Mike.
No, I was just gonna say, I still, to this day, I don't know why people consider that a bad thing when they talk about crypto. Oh, like he's fudding. Well, what do you mean he's fudding? He has fear, uncertainty, and doubt.
He's
That's
asking
human
about
nature.
he's asking about liquidity. Oh, what is he, an asshole? No. He's asking
Yeah,
he's asking the right questions. He wants to know
exactly.
why the liquidity went down 100K in 1 month. And it's because BNB went down. And what he's
Of
looking
course.
for is an answer. He's not looking for to be called a scammer or a scumbag. And me
He's
and
a
Mike can't
fudder.
stand that more than anybody. For real.
Yeah. I don't know why that terminology was ever brought up. Always fudding the project, but whatever. It is what it is, man. I'm not down with the whole lingo.
I mean, if you
All
say,
I
"Oh, Mike and me are scammers," you're a piece of shit, blah blah blah. That's not even being fudding. You're just being an asshole, and you're being negative, and we're gonna kick you out. But if you have fear, uncertainty, or doubt, ask your questions. We want those questions.
no, and the best part about it too is if somebody was to ever say, "Hey, you're a scammer," I want it to be done on a voice chat, me and that person debating one on one while everybody else is muted, and you prove to me why I'm a scammer. But you know what? Those people don't do it because they just sit there and they just start nonsense for no reason. Um, but that's pretty much it. Now, listen, it's been a crazy, crazy few days. I'm sure anybody who's
One
in.
question that Alpha said: how are the Sergeant SHIB tokens going to be sent out for the pre-sale people? They're going to be airdropped. You don't have to worry about that. It's going to be automated. You do not have to do anything. Do not send us messages. We already have the wallets. It's already set up.
Oh, speaking of
I
which,
bet.
yeah, let me
Yeah.
touch on that a little bit too. Um, Again, this is DoD AMA, but Sergeant SHIB, it's all intertwined at this point. Um, so obviously, I've preached that DoD is the keys to the kingdom, right? The NFTs are out. BNB is down. It's a great time if you know anybody who wants the whitelisted pre-sale spots. I think there's 20 left of the third series. We did say there's going to be 150 total. Right now, when those 20 are out, that's a total of 75. We're going to see, obviously, we're about 3 weeks away from launch. So, as we
And I'm
start
going to shout
ramping up.
somebody out. I mean, obviously, Jules, if she's on here, she's a huge member of her community. She has a huge following. She is going to get whitelist spots as well, where they don't have to buy in. So just be aware, there are people that are going to get whitelist spots that don't have to buy in. So just like Mike said, if you want to get in, you got to buy in.
Correct. And so, and I'll just explain to everybody what my whole idea was behind the NFT, because I don't think we had an AMA. So once we released that, we could have, I don't remember. But so obviously, when DoD first came out, right, and a lot of projects always have a hard time grasping what are we going to set for hard cap, what are we going to set for soft cap. Defender of Doge originally sent out Google Forms where people pledged X amount, right? I think it was close to 600 BNB at the time, which is great, because some people, when they come on, you pledge one thing, right? So they'll say, "Oh, I'm going to put 1.5 BNB." They end up buying 3, or they say they're going to buy 3. They only end up buying 1. So that is here nor there. At this point, it doesn't matter to us because we know we're going to sell this pre-sale out. I have a feeling this pre-sale is going to sell out in minutes. Obviously, the whitelist spots, you're going to have your time to do it, whether we set it for 4 or 6 hours or whatever the case may be for whitelist spots to be filled. You'll have your chance to do it. The other people that don't do it, you know what? They're just taking a crapshoot. I've been involved in pre-sales where I couldn't click the button fast enough and it was sold out in a matter of minutes. So, and I have a feeling this is going to end up being the same way.
Shout out to a few projects that those are the projects that I'm in their Telegram, and Mike knows that. I only joined Telegrams that I couldn't get in the pre-sale because I couldn't click the button fast enough. And that's what we model ourselves after, our projects like that. I mean, I'm going to shout out a token right now, Boost token and Rocket Coin. I know they've taken an absolute shit too because of ERC20 and BNB network, but they're absolutely amazing tokens. They've done a great job. They had great launches. They did everything correctly. And you know why they were successful? and Mike will agree with this, because they didn't scam anyone. They were honest about what they did. They said, this is a token to make money, and go make money. And the people that know about it, they made a lot of money. And that's just the truth. Because when you're honest in this industry, that sells. And people don't want to hear that shit because it's cliche, but it's the absolute truth. And it's the only way that you're really going to succeed is if you're honest and you don't scam people and you actually make people money.
Correct. And I just want to say about, so the whole NFT thing is, remember, sorry, I just got a message. So again, the NFTs for the whitelist spot. Keep in mind, this money's not going in our pocket. We're not keeping it. You can look at the NFT wallet address. Whenever NFTs are purchased, the DoD is purchased right with that money, and it's still in that wallet. We're going to let that accumulate. We're going to figure out something to do with it. It's going to go back to the community, one which way, some way, or whether it's a contest, a giveaway, whatever it may be. But the beauty behind the NFT is that each one of those now, like if you look at Series 1 and Series 2, you can click, or maybe you can't, but we can, as the owners, can click inventory, and it shows us every single wallet where those NFTs are. So now, come whitelist presale time, we don't have to contact anybody. We have the wallet addresses already there, right? And we just then upload it to DXSale. And obviously I recommend that whatever wallet you have your NFT in, your key card, make sure before presale, and I'm probably going to say a week before presale, you put that NFT in the wallet where you want your Sergeant SHIB to go for the presale.
And if you want to message one of us to make sure that you're on it, that's okay. We're not going to be like, don't message us. Like, we'll make sure. But like Mike's saying, it's almost going to be automated. It's not technically automated, but it pretty much is with Steve and Tony. They're going to make sure everything's correct. That's what we pay them for, and they do a flawless job. So it's not going to be an issue. But if you're one of those people like me who is a paranoid person in life, you can message us. We're not going to just be like, yo, don't message us about this. We'll respond to you. We'll make sure that you're on the whitelist.
Correct. And you could also make sure, you could also double check yourself and go on the Rarible site. You look at owners, you'll see your wallet address there. And again, it just makes everything a lot easier, a lot cleaner for us. This way, nobody's pledging BNB. We just know that, okay, we're going to have 150 whitelist spots. And again, we are not worried about soft cap, hard cap getting hit in this presale. Marketing will start. You have to wait. And I know everybody's like, oh, well, Mike, you never talked about marketing for DoD. I said, yeah, because we figured out our plan with Defender of Doge on what it was going to be. Sergeant SHIB obviously is going to be take a different route. But again, all circles back, because in the white paper, you'll see how Sergeant SHIB reflects Defender of Doge and AlphaApe all in one. It's a win-win for everybody involved. So keep holding your DoD. If you can afford to buy more, again, I'm not begging you. I don't gaslight anything. We're not salesmen. If you can buy it and you can afford it, great, buy some. If you can stake it to earn Sergeant SHIB, do it, because you're going to hit a home run with that one. And just sit back and relax, because like I said, we've closed deals. We have more revenue that's going into Defender of Doge. We refuse, and actually, it's not that we just refuse. We're told by our financial guy not to do it at this moment, because in a red market, for us to be the only green project, most of the people on this call are diamond-handed holders who have it staked already, so it doesn't really matter if we're red or green right now. But the ones that are looking to cash out, it's just going to make it more tempting for them to do it. You know what I mean? So it's just not the right time. Not the right time to pump the money into the project in this way. Next couple days, I have a feeling it will be, because I see it starting to turn around. Hopefully by, I want to say Friday, we'll start to see something peak up again, depending on what the Fed says tomorrow. But according to what I think is going to happen, is they're going to come on there and say, no, everything's fine, because they saw how bad everything tanked originally and try to spin things back around. So my
Yeah, and
personal
if
opinion.
anybody thinks that the government doesn't own Bitcoin and they don't care about what Bitcoin's worth and Ethereum's worth, you're out of your mind. These people all own it, so they don't want it to be down either. Like, that's the one thing that everyone has to think about. Like, the one thing the government, yeah, you can say the government's evil, but the one thing they're not evil about is money. They want everything to be up.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's why the Fed's going to come out tomorrow, and probably, I would bet 99% they're going to make a positive statement.
Yes, they are not going to say anything about inflation again. They're not going to, they're.
What are they going
to?
What are they just going to keep tanking the market until they all lose all their money? Like,
No.
they're not doing that. Like,
No,
you got to think about the way the government moves.
Kev, what did the stocks finish up? Didn't it close within 1,000 points in a matter of 10 minutes?
Over. It went all the way down from, I think it was 34.4 to 33.4 in the Dow, and it went all the way back up to 34.4. I know it had a bad day today, but that's healthy. It needed to. It dropped 1,000 points and went back up in an hour. My financial advisor was texting me like, this is so unhealthy, it's insane.
Correct.
Like, so you got to understand, like, and that's fine if you don't pay attention to it, because I actually shot you out for that. If you don't watch the news and you don't pay attention to the stock market, your life is probably a lot less stressful. But this is the way that economics works. Like, it's just the way that it works. And I mean, our financial analyst Pax, he's begging for the stock market to go down. He's like, this is the worst bubble we've ever had. I hope it's down for the next 3 years. That's what he says.
Yeah, well, he gets a little carried away too.
Yeah, but like, he's right though, in a way, because it's such a bubble that he's like, it needs to recover so it can go back to its normal trajectory. And I don't think that crypto is going to follow the stock market forever. I told him that today. I think eventually that, when 60-year-old people are having crypto in their ETFs and stuff, it's going to make crypto just surpass the stock market because it's a new financial industry. But at the end of the day, this isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know if that's true. All I know is that if the government gets involved, everybody thinks that's a bad thing, but all the government cares about is money. So it's not going to be a bad thing for anything that involves money. That's why real estate is up so much, because if interest rates are down. That's why everything is up so much, because the government has gotten involved and they're trying to raise the prices on everything. And yes, inflation is real, but also the fact that you can make a lot more money is real too.
That's for sure. I know that I dumped a ton of money into crypto yesterday, so I took advantage. Again, I get greedy when people are fearful. I live by that.
Mike took my advice on one crypto. I'm happy.
Listen, whatever. All right, so it's been about an hour. Let's open it up. Who's got some questions? There's got to be something.
Yeah, I mean, I asked them in the chat. I mean, the one question was about the airdrop, but anybody else with a question, go ahead.
Oh, is everybody muted, right? Somebody's got I don't even know how to.
Mark, go ahead.
Raise their hands.
Yeah, just raise your hand and we'll unmute you.
Okay.
Yo, what's up? Good evening, guys. How are you doing?
Good. Hanging in there.
Good. Hey, that's awesome to hear about the AlphaApe crypto card that's coming down the line. Hear more about that. Hey, Mike, you actually kind of touched on this a second ago. You said that like AlphaApe and Defender of Doge and Sergeant SHIB are kind of all intertwined at this point. Does that mean that the AlphaApe and Sergeant SHIB and the possible third token that's coming down the road will all be in the AMAs here on Defender of Doge, or are we going to be doing AMAs like over on Sergeant SHIB once a week? How have y'all figured that out, or even?
I actually want to answer that, Mike, if you want.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
I figured that no disrespect to anybody in here, but the SHIB army is a bunch of wild animals. So our little DoD private community over here, I don't know how much we want to get the people in here, but you know, so yeah, no, we'll probably do something over on Sergeant SHIB as well, just because we're expecting it to.
We're gonna do both once a week.
Okay.
We're gonna have Sergeant SHIB once a week. Mike and me are gonna host it. We're gonna have Tony on. We'll have Steve on if he finally decides to turn on his freaking cell phone once in a while. But you know, Defender of Doge is staying Tuesday 9 o'clock. That's the way it's gonna go. We're gonna have one Sergeant SHIB AMA a week, maybe every other week, because like Mike said, that community is awesome, but they're absolute animals. So we want to make sure everything's good.
Correct.
All right, cool. So is it okay to ask a question about Sergeant SHIB right now during this, or are we kind of
of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. As of right now, we're intertwined. So
yeah.
if anybody has a question within the next 3 weeks, please ask it.
All right. So with Sergeant SHIB, I know that there's that February 15th date that's out there. And my question is Presale going to start on the 15th, or is Presale going to start like a couple of days before, or the day before?
Presale is starting on the 15th. We're probably going to launch on the 16th, I would assume. 17th.
Okay, that makes sense now. All right, got it.
Yeah. Again, and I have a feeling it's going to fill very, very quick. So it might actually launch on the 15th.
Actual 15th. It could launch on the 15th.
Yeah. So as soon as hard caps hit, it'll go live, obviously.
And with the amount of private investors that we have and who we're about to work with and Jules's group, I mean, it could fill privately based on the NFTs and that stuff. So that's something to keep in mind as well. I know it's $50. Some people don't have it, but if you want in on Sergeant SHIB, like I would really, really suggest getting one of those NFTs.
Yes. Yes, I would. 100%. Well, it's not $50 anymore. B&B is way down. I don't know what it is, but yeah.
Whatever it
Either
is,
way.
that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
So Dave wrote a question here, and I find this very interesting, right? He said, does Bitcoin crashing affect this negatively? Death cross on Bitcoin and ETH, PT sub 25K for Bitcoin in the next 2 months, and the next month or two guaranteed. So Dave is telling me that he sees that it's a guarantee that Bitcoin's going to be sub 25K in the next 2 months.
If that's the case, Dave, I'm going to buy 10 Bitcoin and I'll show it to you.
And I'm going to give you 2 of them. I'm joking.
I don't think that. At the end of the day, that is all speculation. We have to I don't think that that's the truth. If Bitcoin goes below 25K, it's going to go up in about 3 seconds because the government will buy so much of it that you can't even believe. And like El Salvador will probably buy 50,000 Bitcoin in 1 second at that point because they run their government off of that. So I mean, don't get me wrong.
I could see Bitcoin hitting 28K again. In that resistance line, maybe 27.5. Going below 25, though, that's going to be a tough one. Because, I mean, if that's the case again.
2018, 2019, 2020 numbers. I don't think that that's ever coming back. And if it does, we're all going to be good. Because I'm going to tell you not to buy Defender or Doge. Go buy some Bitcoin.
Correct. Buy ETH, buy everything else that's on a fire sale. Because DOD, again, just hold it. Last thing you want to do.
If that happens, B&B will probably be at $200. So go buy a shit ton of that too.
Yeah, load up on that. But no, I mean, Dave, in all honesty, correct. Any time something crashes, whether everything's following Bitcoin now, yes, it's going to impact any project. I don't care what project it is. If it's an ERC project, if it's a BSC project, ETH goes down, Bitcoin goes down, BNB goes down. Anything on those chains, it's going to just counteract. It's just going to do the same thing. There's that saying, right? If BNB was to skyrocket and start moving, but nobody bought and sold, we would just slowly start to, move up a little bit. But then that first buy or sell will either give us a huge green candle or a huge red candle. It's just the way it's built, and it's kind of the way it just fluctuates. It's it's a balancing act. But no, Dave, you are correct. Yes, everything does get affected by the crash for sure. Let me see any other questions here.
I have a question if I can ask.
Yeah, sure.
It's in regards to the prepaid card. That's one that interests me quite a bit. You mentioned that it doesn't have a Visa or MasterCard logo in it, but that we are able to use it to make purchases at stores or grocery stores, whatever. What will be on the card that would make it acceptable for those merchants?
It's their logo. It's the company's logo. Again, it's kind of like a use. How am I going to?
Mike just can't. Yeah, it's hard. It's the company. I'm going to answer this. It's the company's logo. It's not a Visa or MasterCard. It's not a Discover card, but it has their logo and it's accepted. We just can't say the name because it's not finalized in writing. This is like a legal type contract.
Yeah.
And that's
that
the
makes
only
perfect
reason that.
sense.
But yes, it's complete. Yes, it's something that you do see already. We just can't say what it is yet.
Good. Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Sure.
Yeah, it's Costco. I didn't want to say it, guys. But
It's
No,
Costco
it's
card,
not.
yes.
Chill out, bro.
Make sure you go get your.
be awesome, man.
Go get your Costco cards. I actually never been to that store. I heard it's good. But
Well, it's so
anybody else have
popular.
a question?
Okay. What do you think of AMA with Whale Coin Talk? Is that something you want to happen in the future? Yeah, absolutely. I'll talk anywhere. I mean, if you guys remember, I did that one BS AMA that time. I don't know what Kevin got me involved in that time, but I'm sure a lot of you were there.
Whale Coin Talk is actually on here. So tell us a little bit about
absolutely.
what you like. Tell us a little bit about your group.
I think he's muted. He said he tried to talk, but he couldn't talk.
No, he's allowed to speak now. I allow him to speak.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
King Cash. Name is King Cash.
Yeah, King Cash.
King Cash Cow, where you at, bro?
He's in the chat.
He's always in the chat. You're nervous, bro? What's going on?
Little stage fright. Little stage fright.
Nah, but absolutely. Like the answer to that is yes. We'll speak everywhere. I want to shout out Charles. Actually, I don't know the guy's name. I think it was like something Goshen, and that's a town that I know in New York. But I guess he got on some Twitter space, and we're gonna have an AMA there. Or we already had
a huge one, by the way.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mike. You talk about that because you know. Yeah. You talk about that because I don't know shit about Twitter. So go ahead.
I'm gonna hand that off to Charles. Charles is the one who landed that fish. Tell him a little about him. I mean, the guy.
Yeah, go ahead, Charles. You take this over right now.
Oh, it's David Gockstein and Gockstein Media. We're gonna be looking at possibly doing an AMA with them, trying to get Mike in touch with the guy so they can talk about the terms and everything and get everything finalized. But yeah, that would be a huge one, man. Gockstein Media is huge, really.
Yeah, big deal. I mean, Mike talked to somebody today that was good friends with people at with David Grutman, and I'm not saying any deals were done, but those talks are happening. Like big talks are happening with big people.
Yes, and I can tell you right now, the guy Dave that Charles is talking about, when he hosts a Twitter space, there's about 400 people on it. I was on one of his today talking, and he's hilarious. He's a straight shooter, though. You know, I don't expect it to be an easy AMA. I'm sure he'll hit me with a lot of tough questions. So I'll have to be.
I'll definitely have to be on there. Tony will be on there because we're gonna have the full trio on there to answer all the questions. Because, like Mike said, it's not going to be an easy. And I like that. I like real questions because that's what puts the legitimate projects up against these shit coins. And people will say, "Oh, you're a shit coin because you have Doge in your name." Okay, that's fine. Watch what we actually do, though. That's all I can say.
That's the thing with these guys. You know, you can't just go say, "Hey, I'm gonna give you this amount of money and have an AMA." They don't want your money.
Exactly.
You know, they just want to be interested in your project.
Mike can make an ETH a day off of shilling projects. I mean, every single person right now is like, well, how did Sergeant SHIB grow from 200 followers in the Telegram to 1,700? Because of Mike. Because he tweeted
we did a couple
about
of
it.
shill tweets.
He didn't give a shit. He just tweeted about it. That's it. He could do that every single day.
Well, hold on. I didn't tweet about it. I had a shill tweet done. But
No,
yes,
I understand what you mean, but you could do that every day for projects, and Mike could make a half of ETH to an ETH a day. Do the math.
correct. Yeah, I mean, listen,
and he doesn't do it. He doesn't do it because he doesn't know if it's legitimate.
Well, that's the whole thing behind AlphaApe too. I mean, we said it. It's not about you know, what if you can pay to get on the platform, right? It's about you have to meet the standard. And it's the white paper for AlphaApe when it comes out, guys. It's going to be very long. I believe it's over 25 pages long. It's in depth. There's a lot of reading that goes involved, but
as it should be because of what's going to be in it.
Exactly. And I mean, you guys are DoD holders, and I keep saying this, you guys hold the keys to AlphaApe. So when it does launch, the white paper, read through it. There's a lot of good stuff on there, a lot of stuff we've talked about already, but it kind of gives you more of a breakdown exactly on how everything's going to work. And, because we can make all the videos we want, we can talk about it over and over again. We're always going to miss something. So unless we write it down so everybody can read it, it's the only way everybody's actually going to get a good grasp of it. All right. Anybody else? Let's see. Any more in here?
Well, do you want to talk? He did respond in the messages. What's his name? The guy, Cash Cow. So Whale Coin Token. If you want to talk.
Yeah, I'm here, bro. I'm here. I was just a little busy. Sorry about that, guys.
So
I mean, I've been listening and stuff. Yeah, I've been here.
Tell us a little bit about your group, doing an AMA on it, that type of stuff, because I know Mike's interested in that.
Sure. I mean, right now we have about, 11,000 organic members. A group of serious people that, take interest in, the projects that basically come by for an AMA. It's usually like 100 to 120 people in the AMA listening. They take everything quite serious and professional, so I thought it would be a good thing, not saying to rush into it, but down the line when you guys are ready, I feel like it would be great, to introduce DoD, to that wonderful community, and see how it goes.
Yeah, definitely message me or Mike about that, because we'd be interested in doing something like that for sure.
Yeah, no worries. Like I said, it's not in a rush. We're here for the long run, so we could make it work whenever you guys decide or whatever. But that sounds great.
Absolutely. Yeah, just send me a message. But if that's it, I mean, we're gonna end the AMA. We're gonna have Tony come on during the week. Me and Mike will come on too, when he's feeling better. But we can just wrap this up. I mean, really, we just gotta wait for the market to recover a little bit for everything to go back up. Piff did message me. He showed me that our daily volume today was 31,000, which is great for a day like this. So can't be mad at that. And I mean, that's pretty much it on my side. Mike, do you got anything else?
No. I mean, listen, again, this is not anything to do with DoD, a project I'm involved with or anything. Just know that when you see the market tumbling down, hold, right? That's where the term diamond.
Not just crypto either, real estate, stock market, everything. Hold.
Do not panic. Do not sell. There's a thing, panic sellers, right? And
that sue me. That is financial advice. Hold.
Yeah, well, that's another thing too, like what whales do in projects, right? And it's a known tactic, and they do it all the time. So if you go into projects where people own a huge stake of it, right, what they'll do is every other week they'll create a massive sell-off to create panic sellers, right? Everybody starts dumping their bag, and then they buy back in, right? And then everybody FOMOs back in, and they repeat the process over and over again. That's how these whales.
And I laugh about this every 4 years when this happens. China always does something to ban Bitcoin, right? In my opinion, China's just buying up all the Bitcoin when it drops because they want to own it. Yeah, like you got to think about it strategically. If you have the power to do something like that, yes, it might be messed up, but you're going to do it in most cases.
Correct.
Because these countries are about money. If the US could put out a tweet right now, like let's say Donald Trump was president again and he was just tweeting and blah, blah, blah. I don't care what you say about politics. And he was like, Bitcoin is a scam. And it dropped to 20K. You don't think the government would just buy up the shit out of it?
You don't think his family's buying up the shit out of it?
Like, come on. Like,
Give
like
10 years and China's going to be number one.
You got to be real with yourself. Like, yeah, when China bans Bitcoin, it's because they want to buy a shit ton of it. It's because it's at 60K and they're like, we want it to go down to 45 so we can get some. That's my opinion on it.
2030, China's gonna be number one for like GDP and shit like that.
Dude, I agree with you 1,000%. Somebody had an argument with me the other day that the U.S. military was better than the Chinese military. I was like, you're out of your mind. They have so many more people. They have so much more money. They just do things to manipulate currencies, and it's not just China. India is a huge country. The U.S. does it as well. A lot of countries do it. You have to be mindful of what's going on, not with just crypto, with the whole world. Because when things like this happen, it's not for no reason. This isn't coincidental. This stuff happens in patterns. And that is one thing that I really like about Pax, our financial advisor, because he goes over everything with us in patterns.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
So I mean, crayons. Yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, you just got to hold. You got to be smart. If you guys have any questions, you can, of course, message us or one of the moderators. Please don't worry about the airdrops for Sergeant Shib. You're going to be fine with that. An update on that is the contract is officially done. Tony finished it today. So other than that,
just to summarize that, I'll summarize everything quick. One last time, deal is 97%. I won't say 99% done with the prepaid cards for the use on AlphaApe.
And with the promoter, the deal is 100% done. We're just waiting to pay him.
Yes. So prepaid cards done. Purchasing with fiat and be able to go. Getting a bad echo from somebody. Promotions, check. Who's this? Oh. He just totally distracted me with whatever the hell that was. Promotions, check. Prepaid cards, check. AlphaApe white paper is pretty much done. Sergeant Shib white paper is done. We're probably going to release that within the next week.
AlphaApe wallet is done. We're just making sure that everything works correctly because Tony would rather test everything, 1,000 times than test it 10 times. But when you're putting out a product like this, you got to do that.
Yes, and I mean, as far as the Alpha wallet goes, again, it's already approved on Android. Only thing we're waiting for now is iOS version. It's in their hands to give it the green light to go. If I had to bet money on it, they're going to come back and say something needs to be changed because they've done it about 15 times already. But
come on, Tim Cook. If anyone knows Tim Cook, hit him up.
I mean, from the February 1st goal date is still there.
I already told them that it might be pushed back to March 1st, and I don't care because I'd rather it be quality over some shit product that gets put out that we have to put out in another month because iOS says no.
Well, yeah, and guys, keep in mind too, and this is all in the AlphaApe white paper too, that our wallet is going to be, you're interacting simultaneously with the AlphaApe exchange, right? So that all has to mesh together because you're going to have your account that's on AlphaApe as well, right? Again, it's all secure. There's no questions about it. Your data, you're going to have everything. You're going to have your seed phrases. It's like any other wallet, except it's for DeFi only. You can still store your ETH and Bitcoin on there, but you're not going to be able to purchase any of that with us. You
And
have
we
to buy
always
that
tell
somewhere else.
everyone, if you want to purchase that stuff, go to Coinbase, go to KuCoin, go to
Go
the
somewhere else.
exchanges that sell it.
Exactly. So you know, again, we're DeFi based only. I didn't even follow up those other projects we have. I told you about the 2 other projects we're onboarding as far as staking.
We got
goes.
another one this week.
Another one, actually 2 other ones this week. So a total of 4 now. Again, this other one is a relatively new project, but good guys. Spoke to them. Shout out to AK. I had a conversation with him and the other guy the other day for about an hour. Really level-headed project team. They have their goals set. So what we're doing now, just to recap on that whole situation. Again, there's only so much time in the day, but what we're doing. So for each project that comes to us, right, whether it's going to be staking, whether it's going to be listed on the exchange. Obviously we have to approve every single one that goes on the exchange. The staking's a little different, right? Because those projects are already launched, right? They're not listed on our Alpha exchange. So we're not hosting them for sale. They're just using our service to stake. So obviously the vetting process isn't like it would be if they're being listed on the exchange part. But we custom build everything to their needs of the project. So they might decide they want to do only 2 options for staking, 6 months in a year, and their APY is going to be whatever they choose it to be. So that's custom built per project. So we're in the process of doing 2 of those now. Once they're done, obviously the commitment is, and again, I know there's people on here that have been asking me, how does a project get involved? The prices varies per project, right? As of right now, each project that we're signing on, depending on size, they have to purchase 10 BNB worth of Defender of Doge. They have to lock it for 6 months, right? So right then and there, that's 10 BNB locked up of DOD for the project itself. And then depending on the size of the community, the one of them we nailed down, it's 0.5 BNB purchase of Defender of Doge for their members that they have to hold in order to stake. Obviously it syncs with their wallet, so if they try to come in and just stake without DOD, it's not going to work. That's just what's built into the function. It's kind of like refinable, where we mint our NFTs. If we don't hold their token, we can only mint 1 NFT, so we have to hold their tokens and able to do it. Sort of, it's the same exact thing, right? So they have to hold it to do it. Could they eventually sell it? Yeah, of course they can. But I've already explained to every one of these projects what we have going and the ability that they could actually stake their token. So again, it's all DoD selling itself, right? It's just going to continue to grow, and it's not. Listen, I know a lot of people want it to grow overnight, guys, and in reality, we told you that's not what this project is about. Defender of Doge, it'll get there. Just give it time. I just lost something too. I was just going to say, and it was really important too.
I just have a question on the AlphaApe exchange. Will you be able to buy and sell other projects with DoD? And also, I just thought if there was a trading pair, possibly like DoD / all the other tokens that might be listed there, that way.
Well, no, we're gonna try to keep Defender of Doge. We don't want that to actually be used as a currency. We want it to be used more of well, I shouldn't say used as a currency, because like as far as using it to buy other projects, because again, our vision of that is to make it as much of a stable coin as possible. And again, it's the key to getting into this. So every project that wants to be a part of our services has to hold it. If they want to mint NFTs, you're going to have to hold a certain amount, way cheaper than any other site, right? I mean, it's a fraction of what all these other places charge. Like our NFT marketplace, obviously we have multi-chains. It's not just a single chain. That's something that we're very proud of, that we've been able to do. But again, each Defender of Doge token that's out there is going to continuously rise our price. So the holders of Defender of Doge are going to benefit in the long run, because the vision that we see for AlphaApe long term is going to, people say, oh, well, how's Defender of Doge going to get to this price, X price that we've predicted, that I've predicted? And it's just simple math. You burn so much, and there's only a limited supply left, and it's needed for all of these services that we offer. So it's supply and demand at the end of the day. That's what it was. So Launchpad, okay. Everybody's always interested in launch pads, what they do. Obviously, launch pads are places like DXSale, PinkSale, where you could host pre-sales, lock your liquidity, lock your token stuff. Obviously, AlphaApe, we're having our own as well. Funny, it's hilarious, by the way. I'm sure some of you guys have seen it. There's somebody that's been selling Defender of Doge that has like $29 billion of FOMO baby in their wallet. Charles, have you seen it? Alpha, I'm sure, has seen it. One of you guys has definitely seen it. Either way,
Yep.
So it's okay. So that is actually, we traced it back. That's actually DXSale selling Defender of Doge. So what it is when you go to these places, right, and you host pre-sales, they charge you a fee, but then they also charge you a percentage of your tokens. So that's why I kept saying to myself, who is this person that has all this FOMO baby in their wallet? And Tony was able to track it back, and it's actually DXSale. Gave us obviously an idea. We're going to undercut the price of that, but again, it's going to build the liquidity for Defender of Doge and everything that goes along with it. A lot of good stuff in the makings, guys, and it's just not enough hours in the day, not enough coffee to get through it all. But, again, a week in crypto might as well be 6 years. Past few days were rough with the market. Don't panic. Don't be that person. I always say, don't be that guy. Don't be the one to say, oh, man, I should have held. I should have held. No, don't do it. And I'm not just talking about DOD. I'm talking about anything, unless it's some really, really BS project. But never sell on a down market. And that goes with anything in life. And that is financial advice. I don't care. Sue me if you want to. All right.
Yeah,
any other questions?
I agree.
Anybody else? Jules is quiet tonight.
Oh, I have a question, actually.
I knew it. Yes.
It's been in my inbox for a couple of days. Actually, I've had it more than once. Is there any speculation or conversation regarding pushing back the launch if the market doesn't correct?
Honestly, no. That's the first time I even thought about it.
No.
Okay.
I haven't thought about that yet.
Because Jules, you already know it's coming. Because of who we're working with, no.
Yeah, no, I was just curious. It's just a question I've gotten a couple times.
It's a good question too, but I've thought about it as well. No, we're not going to do that.
Yeah. You guys will be super stoked on this.
Jewel, and shout out to Jewel. She got Mike in touch with this guy originally, and this is going to be a big deal for us. So absolutely not, Jules, and that's in a good way.
Okay, cool, awesome, thanks.
Sure.
I think on that note, Mike, we'll just end it. And if anyone has a question, they could just DM us or Ahmad.
Yeah, for sure. And also just want to make sure. Want to just touch one more thing. Again, obviously, with Sergeant Shib, we're as a team. Again, we're not using it as part of our tokenomics. We're not using it as a selling point, but we are working with the military foundations, donating from the team itself, not from you guys. But if you guys know any charitable organizations that might be close to home with you guys, that work with veterans, anything military related, reach out to me. Again, a lot of people,
especially local charities and stuff.
Exactly.
That most people don't know about. That's the stuff that we want to work with, because one, we know they're a little bit more legitimate, and also they don't get as much love. And like Mike said, a lot of people in his family have served. A lot of people in my family have served. I mean, like, that's just something that's very near and dear to our hearts. And we're not a charity token by any means.
No,
but
we're
we
just
will
doing
be,
that.
we
We're
will
doing
be,
that out of
yeah. Instead of some of the burns that we did with DOD, like we'll buy 100 BNB worth of tokens, or instead of buying 100 BNB worth of tokens and then burning it, we're going to send 100 BNB worth of money to those foundations. That's our vision. It's not your money. It's not like a charity wallet or anything like that. We're doing that out of our own profits. And that's just the way that we are as a community. So
correct. Yeah. And it'll still, the buyback wallet would still purchase and do what it has to do, except we just wouldn't be burning it. We'll be
correct.
donating it.
Exactly.
So it's all the same thing. And again, if you know any foundations, please DM me, shoot me a message. I'd like to get a hold of them, work out the deals with them. Like I said, we've already done the Wounded Warriors. The other three, I'm sorry, I don't remember them off the top of my head, or the other two for now. But again, if you know anybody, shoot me a message and let's make it happen.
Yeah, definitely near and dear to our hearts. Any local ones, any ones that are based on a community, like, the Hispanic, veterans, or the Italian veterans, or like stuff like that, like organizations that we might not know about. Those are things that we would definitely be interested in knowing.
And keep in mind too, and I said this goes for not just America. I mean, we have community members from all over the world.
Yeah, if you have somebody in Europe, they have an organization over there, we'd be willing to do that. Asia, all that stuff, like Mike said, this is not an American company. This is a nation, this is an international company.
I don't think Finland has an army though.
Nah, not Finland. We're not doing that. They're 5.6 million people. We'll find something.
Well, that's where Tony.
But seriously, like, if you guys have any suggestions, please reach out to us, because we're not gonna just be like, oh no, because they're not in America. Like, we're gonna obviously look into the organization, make sure they're legitimate, and if they are, we'd be willing to work with them 1,000%.
Correct. And I'm going to be posting tomorrow. We're going to be adopting our second ape within the next week. Ape, chimpanzee, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to be posting up the link to the site. Maybe we'll get a community vote on that. Again, each one of you are foster parents to these apes that we adopt. Again, I spoke to the Great Apes Foundation down in Florida a few times. They love us. They love our project. And, we can, anytime we want, we can set up private meet and greets with these chimps, gorillas, apes, whatever you want to call it, for you to go visit. They're not open to the public, but since you're foster parents, we all are, we can do it. As long as we all don't show up, 75 of us at one time trying to get in, we can do it. So
I'm going. Let's go.
So I'll be posting that up in the next day or so. And then we'll see. Again, we adopted Michael Jackson's. And that was the first ape we did months ago. And Jules thought he was dead, and he's not dead. He's still
alive.
Bubbles is still alive.
No, that was a full conversation. I was very adamant. I was like, there's no way this chimp is still alive. He didn't outlive Michael Jackson. He did.
He's still alive.
He did.
He definitely did.
And it's because Bubbles didn't have the same doctor. And on that note, we're gonna end the AMA.
For sure.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a good joke if anybody got it. But
wow.
so, guys, if you have any questions, we are transparent. We want to answer you. We also don't want to have 3-hour-long AMAs, so we're gonna end it. But if you have a question, just DM us. We're gonna be on.
Good night, guys. Thank you.
No problem at all. We love you all. Have a great rest of your night.
Good night.
Night, guys.
Good night, Mikey.
Good night.